the Divine Feminines podcast and channel. I'm your host, Steph.dsa, and in today's episode, we are going to explore how to jump to your highest timeline. Now, many of you might have heard of timelines and said, what is that, and what's the concept of it? We're gonna explore it today. I'm gonna explain, and I'm going to give some guidance on how you can jump to your highest timeline, and how actually your highest timeline is very much aligning to what is New Earth, and we can all really be a part of New Earth. So before I get started, don't forget to like and subscribe this channel. We're the Divine Feminines on YouTube, and you can catch us on all major podcast platforms. That's Apple, Google, Spotify, and we're also on social media with Instagram and TikTok, and it's Divine Feminines with a Z at the end. Why like and subscribe to this channel, where every Friday I drop a new episode on how to empower your mind, body and soul, giving you more information of how to use your intuition, use your inner strength, your inner power, your wisdom and knowledge that you have, and really tapping into the true essence of what is really you, your soul, and why you're here on this earth. And we're also talking about twin flame journey, high vibrational soul connections. I also do special bonus videos on moon magic and moon manifestation, so stay tuned for those. And there will be an upcoming event, the new moon in Leo manifestation evening, happening in central London for a limited amount of people. It's a great immersive 4-hour experience with a plant-based Caribbean meal, tropical fruits, and then we're going to go into a tent with a 2-part experience of expansion, releasing, Reiki healing, surrendering. So creating that space to then go into the second part, which is calling in those manifestations, setting the intentions with the new moon in Leo energy and lunar cycle. And as we roll into the Lionsgate portal. So let's talk timelines. What are timelines? Well, basically, the concept of timelines can also be the same as like quantum shifting, paradigm shifting, reality shifting, multi-dimensional shifts, right? It's the same thing. Both past and future, present and future moments are happening at the same time. And I've said this before, like time is an illusion in the fact that you can co-create your future with your present, because it's all interconnected. So how do you jump to your highest timeline? Well, first of all, let's take the concept of the fact that this Earth's vibration is increasing. I've talked about the new blueprint for love. I've talked about how the new Earth is forming, and I'm going to do a video that talks about the new Earth. But as the energy is increasing, the frequencies are increasing, and we've noticed in 2022, I don't know about you, but I have noticed thoughts manifesting super duper fast. I've noticed shifts happening magnificently faster, and so it is a time to be very conscious of how you think and what you say, and just feelings and emotions, because everything manifests. Mind, heart and soul, all of that interconnected emotions will manifest, right? So your desires can manifest faster than ever right now as the Earth's vibration increases and as we head further into 2030. So think of something, and soon enough it will most likely be there. And so this is an important point. Like I said, the linear moment of time, it's important. It fades into the distance, and time is more like pliable. Like time is actually not a fixed moment, right? So it's always changing, meaning we can always change our realities. But this is where we need to be more conscious, and this is why being more conscious and having a more conscious way of life, being more self-mastered in ourselves. This is all coming down to understanding ourselves, trusting our intuition, knowing when to act, when to discern, when to make decisions, when to kind of change a trail of thought, because it's actually not the best trail of thought to be going down. Because, for example, you might actually want something genuinely, like I want to go to a football match. I don't know why I'm saying that, but then there's thought processes that talk about, but I don't think I will, because there's not many tickets left and there's a high demand, and last time I went. So that's a conflicting thought, and actually will block the actual intention of you going to that football match. And so that timeline, of the higher timeline, let's make that the highest timeline of you going to that football match, is not possible because you're creating other timelines that are pulling you onto a different path, right? So, now is the time really to eliminate that mind chatter. It's really a time to keep a crystal clear vision. And I talk about lots of different ways that we can do this. In my events, I'm going to be allowing opportunities to really join me and a number of my light worker collective that are coming together to help everyone sort of experience this and start to take in those methods for themselves. Everyone's got their own way of doing things, and everyone might have their own style and method, but there's some guidance and some facilitation that we can provide. This is why I want to do this, because I'm like, there is an unlimited amount of abundance that can go around for us, an unlimited amount of joy, happiness, peace. So why not all just get on board, right? But we have to do the work, and we have to be self-aware and self-conscious. When you have those feelings of doubts, they will contradict your desires. So, let's talk about timelines and how they affect what you see in your physical world. So, they are a linear string of past and future events that have already occurred. So the future has already occurred because the future is determined by what you do in the present. And in Akashic understanding, you actually are creating your future right now in the present. Like me making this video is creating a future reality to come from the fact that I'm doing this right now. But I'm intentionally doing this because I know what I want. What is falling from the tree? This is what happens when you make videos in the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. This is what happens. I don't know what was going on. There's creatures. But you might be able to hear the drums playing in the background because it's such a beautiful place. Shout out to Nomad Village. It is such a beautiful place, and I'm happy that they've been holding space for me. I did mean to digress, but you know how it goes. Gotta keep it real, gotta keep it. But what I was saying is, me doing this video is also creating a timeline for the future, and the intention set is that I want others to heed this information, to use it to help themselves on their journey. I also want to become more of a supporter, facilitator, doing my light work and spreading this knowledge. So this is creating the expansion that I have the intention of creating through doing this video, right? And the impact I want to create on the collective to help us raise our consciousness. And this is really why I'm here and why I do these videos, because I know that I'm being called to do this. I went through my own journey, and now I know that there's so many that need this support and this guidance, and we could all become our best selves. So why not be part of that and help the collective? So like I said, as you go through each moment in life, you are changing timelines 1 billion times a second, right? So put your hand in front of your face and focus on it, right? And now move it a couple of inches in any direction. So moving it forward, moving it left, moving it right, okay? Now you've just jumped a bazillion timelines, because first it's in front of my face, but actually then it's going to my right and it's going to my left, right? So there's a timeline for every original placement of your hand, and there's also another one for every minuscule movement. Actually, in mathematics, it's like the probability of outcomes, and I'm going to get geeky on you, but the probability of X and Y doing this plus this will equal this outcome. What's the probability of this outcome? What's the probability of this outcome? And actually taking the thought of mathematics, because quantum physics is very much, aligned to mathematics in that sense. What are the combinations of things that you can do to intentionally create the outcome that you want? So you have to go with the highest probabilities, but you need to create those probabilities. Okay, I'm going to stop talking probabilities, because for those that didn't study statistics, or I was like, what is she talking about? I didn't like maths. You're probably going to tune out, so I'm going to stop. But there's a timeline for every original placement of your hand, and there's another one for every movement your hand has made on its way towards its destination. So each timeline has a specific past and occurred prior to your moving your hand, me moving my hand, and a different future that resulted from the movement of your hand. So all those variations, all those combinations of outcomes, the probabilities of what the final end result will be, but the different pattern sequences to reach that outcome, right? So every single differing thought, feeling and action puts us onto a new timeline. So all possibilities exist in our universe, like every single possibility, right? Good, bad, ugly, difficult, short, long, fast, whatever. So your desire is there waiting for you to focus on it and bring it into view. So can you now see why that's important? It's extremely important for you to really have laser focused vision, laser focused mind, and really tapping into those emotions. If your emotions are contradicting the thoughts and the vision, then you are not vibrationally aligned through every portal within yourself, right? So each time you digress from your desire by thinking a conflicting thought about your goal, whatever it is, you jump onto a different timeline that affects your future. Now, you may have seen me talk about, I've jumped a couple timelines, because I know, and I might post it on my Instagram where I'm just like, I'm on my highest timeline right now, because I know that intentionally the way that I'm carrying my life, that was just 11:11 as I recorded as well. So I am on my highest timeline, guys. 11:11 for you twin flames especially. But portal gateway opening. I'll talk about portals, how you can use portals to help you access a higher timeline, to help you facilitate that access. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I say that a few times, I've said it recently, because I'm intentionally creating the environment I have around me in my present moment, my mind. If I feel like my thoughts are going off into a place, I'm deliberately, intentionally bringing myself back. And I use methods. I connect with nature, I ground, I cleanse with water, I do meditations, I do several different approaches to make sure that I'm in center. I practice yoga tremendously a lot, and that's a great way of creating center point of mind, body, soul. It's union of mind, body, soul. It's the ultimate union of self. And so when we are in union, we are in our best, highest center point, and actually our highest timeline, because we are ultimately conscious. And this is about, being open, being in our full consciousness, to be able to access our highest timeline, to be able to align our thoughts, feelings of the highest frequency. I hope you can still see me because the sunlight and the shadows. Anyway, so don't freak out. We can always create corrections. So if you have had conflicting thoughts and it's like, I really want this job, and then you're going off thinking something else or saying something else, or you feel like it's taking you from that positive focus, it's okay, because you can course correct, which is great. Okay, so by laughing, resending your intentions, don't take it so harsh, just be aware and feeling the way you'd feel that you had it right now, feeling grateful. Now, shout out to my soul brother Connor, Dream Fruit UK, because we were recently talking about this euphoric feeling, and he shared that he was feeling that euphoric feeling, and he had moments of it before, but now he's having prolonged moments. And I said to him, that is definitely a manifestation, a physical reflection of being in your highest consciousness, being the highest, in the highest vibrational alignment to your path, because you're doing the work, you're self-conscious, you're clearing your space. And I said to him, there's moments, like even on this trip, and I was just having moments where I was even talking to my soul sister Joanna, because she's been out here with me for some moments of this trip, and I was talking to her, and it was like my higher self just saying stuff, and it was really positive stuff. Not that I don't talk positive anyway, because I do. I'm very intentional about creating the joy and the gratitude, and gratitude also places you in a very high vibration. The essence of gratitude, if you're complaining, you lower your vibration. If you're in gratitude, you are aligning to your highest vibration. You're showing that love for life. But I was saying things, and literally it was being said from my soul, and it was so beautiful. But I had moments of euphoria, and so did she, and we were like, we were laughing, we were giggling, and it was just beautiful. But I was saying to her, we've literally shifted some timelines by being here. We've been doing work by shifting timelines, going into, water, going into the land, going into nature. We overcame a fear. And so that was like a lack mentality, a fear of heights. And so we shifted a timeline of our relationship to heights by overcoming and ziplining, I don't know how many feet high up in the sky. Oh my goodness, it was crazy. But I loved it, and I knew I was going to love it when I was up there, but it was just climbing to the top, and it was crazy climbing to the top. One point there was a part of me that was like, no, don't want to do it. But the highest outcome occurred, right? So, like I said, you can always course correct. And, add to your understanding of timelines the remembrance that you're creating your own reality. Always remember that it's you that is the creator. The creator has created you to create, and this is why we are here. Actually, the core of us being on this earth is to realize our power of creativity, the power that we have to create. So everyone else, even if they are unconscious of their timelines, are being in the creator mode. They might not realize, but they are being in their creator mode, right? And they are here really creating every moment that is happening. And they might not realize that. And a lot of people kind of, when they're complaining or saying, oh, this happened to me, that happened to me. No, you're actually co-creating that. You are creating that. You are a part of that. So, of course, you might share a number of timelines with your friends and close family, because the collective does, as we share these props, and we also share similar realities. We share similar experiences. We see similar things. So we are actually sharing certain timelines, like me being in the same room as another friend, or me being here and my friend comes to visit me. Like, there is some shared timeline creation that has allowed this alignment for us to experience the same timeline reality, the same dimension, the same, let's say, the same shift. We've shifted to the same reality in that moment, right? So there's many props that span many timelines, and this is why your surroundings look very similar, right? And if there's something you really, really want, right, and this is how you shift to your highest timeline, then hold off maybe telling your friends in that moment, so that you can really focus your energy on what you want that to be. I mean, I'm sure they'd want to help, but it is also with great importance to really get clear about what you want and really focus on that. And I really like the moon cycles to do that. It's a great time to work with the moon to help you. So the moon can be a portal to help you shift to a higher timeline. And with the new moon, you can set intentions. Now, you don't always need a new moon. We're creating every moment, like I said. But that's a great time to spend intentionally, taking the time, doing a ritual. But every day being aware that you can create the day that you have, right? So the day that's going to happen from the morning to the evening, you can have such an influence on that day being a great day, a not so great day, because you're the one that's living that reality and co-creating that reality as you progress through that day. So starting that day in the right energy is going to have a massive impact. And look, and as you awaken more and more, you won't even need to have external validation or friends kind of, giving you the encouragement. Like, you can do this on your own. So for many of my tribe that are here, some of you are already in that space. You don't even need to talk about it. You're already manifesting. And so you're manifesting, and I'm sure you guys see it with me. Like, I don't talk about it, and I've been master manifesting for a very long time. I actually was doing it probably unconsciously in some ways from years and years ago, because I have that capability. I have that within me. It's also with my astrological planetary placements. There's ways with knowing your natal chart can also help you understand yourself more and how you can become your best being. But a lot of my alignment is aligned to a master manifestor. So I didn't know that, but I was creating the outcomes I wanted throughout my life many times. And now I know what I know. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. So yes, I was doing that, but I wasn't really aware that it was all of those things in combination. I thought it was my actions. I didn't think about my mind and soul and all of the vibrations that come with it. So look, as you further awaken, you will be so much more in, your imagination will blossom, and you'll hone in on those visualization skills. You'll be able to transcend. And you know, those that are in a more awakened state, you probably are doing more meditation practices and getting more in touch with your intuition. So you're already able to visualize and experience more euphoria, more just bringing bliss and inner peace to yourself and to be in your center. So that's going to help you just naturally align to a higher timeline. Affirmations are a great way, you know, of saying, you know, take me to a higher timeline. I'm working with water, and I'm going to talk about water as a portal, using water, whether it's in a shower, the ocean, whether we're using nature and grounding with trees, even water in a glass, and actually working with that vibration and drinking it and creating those vibrations into the water and the memory of the water that then we bring into our body, because we are, you know, made up of a lot of water ourselves, which I've spoken about before, and I speak about on the moon manifestations, that you can do that too. So, you know, humanity is starting to realize some shift in the collective timeline too, you know. So if you was to look at the Mandela effect, there's lots of, you know, discussions around things that have been happening and experiences, you know, things like, almost like, how do you know you've shifted a timeline? Well, the other thing is this is really good. So you've been doing the work, but how do you know you actually shifted? You might actually notice, because you're like, I'm not seeing the results. I wanted this to happen, but it's not happened, Steph. So how do I know that I've shifted my timeline? How do I know that I'm in a place of a new timeline? Like, how do I know that that is actually happening? Normally, you see almost like the realities jump. So you might have seen a sign with a picture, and then a few days later you see the sign, the picture looks different, the colors look different. So you will be drawn, your eyes will be opening up to things that you may have not seen in the detail before, or you saw the detail of something before and then you see it again, but it looks different, and that shows a shift. I experienced a timeline jump when someone was telling me a story that they had told me already. It was at work as well, and they mentioned something the week before, and then they mentioned it again, but they changed ever so slightly something, and I was like, really? It wasn't going to make a big deal, but I noticed it, and I knew, my intuition was like, whoa, that's the sign of a timeline jump. So whether it's in conversation, something that's being said, a story, and a slight part of the story's changed, you're seeing something, a picture, some letters, an image, and it looks different to what it was before, you have shifted timelines, you have shifted a reality. That is a sign from sort of the universe that you are actually stepping into another dimension. You might also, I mean, I'll be honest with you, so before I came on this trip as well, I noticed that there was definitely a big paradigm shift, a big timeline jump that I had gone through, but I knew other friends had gone through too, and they weren't just in the same location as me, they were in different parts of the world, and they were noticing, you know, the outdoor reality being a bit different, like less people, a subdued, sublime type feeling. And I might have mentioned this on another video, but they were noticing it, but then I don't think others had noticed it because no one else was talking about it. It was like, wait a minute, so if we all jump to a timeline and we're sort of sharing a similar reality that we're experiencing, but the others aren't, and it felt like a void, but a very powerful void, because we were coming up to some big portals, and right now we're in this season of portals, solstice, Lionsgate, all of this, and it's a very powerful time. So be aware that when there's massive, you know, shifts, astrological movements, portals and gateways, and then we're doing our intentional timeline shifting, we are going to notice things. So I noticed this void, but I knew that it was like a kind of like a void, like a subdued moment, because I knew that there was a transitional moment going into a higher timeline, and a reality was changing, and a very significant reality was changing. And even when I traveled, then I saw it while traveling, and I was like, wow, that is incredible, because it's not just in a location, it's where I am going, it's where I'm at, it's around me. And so it's showing me that I am shifting to new realities. And you know, for me, that is ultimately being in New Earth. People have asked me, where are you right now? I'm in New Earth. Doesn't matter where my location is, I am on the New Earth, and I'm part of the New Earth, and I'm part of the creation of the New Earth, and I'm embodying and living the reality of the New Earth. And it is beautiful. Let me tell you, it is beautiful. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. What else? So how do you use portals and to do this quantum jumping, timeline shifting, paradigm shifting? You know, it's something you might have heard many times, and like I said, you need to really just get your center point first. You can do all of these you can see them as tactics, but if you're not cleansed, if there's healing that needs to be done, you're carrying pain, you are complaining about life, you're not in a good vibration, you're not going to be able to make the most out of this, because you're going to conflict yourself. Now, I would always say that no one's perfect, so everyone can conflict themselves, and you can go back and rectify that and course correct it. But it's good to start in a place of center. It's really good to start in a place of, you know, you've really cleansed your field, you've created some space, you've been meditating, you've been doing activities that bring you into a really good center point, like yoga, meditation, going for a walk, you know, practicing other types of just connections with the body. You know, Qigong, I was about to say Qigong. Qigong is another great way that can bring you into that. And there's other methods. Near dance is a beautiful way. It's like an energetic dance that also works with the elements. Being in nature, working with the elements is another way to also bring that to life. But you can really use, like I said, water. So the easiest way to skip timelines is to use a portal. And you know, water really does, because water is so malleable. Water shifts and changes instantly. It takes our vibration, it takes our memory. So you know, you can script or envision in the mind a timeline that you know you deserve to be in, what you want to really be in. And then as you're in the water, whether you're in the bath, in the shower, in the ocean, you can shed the old timeline. You can say, I release the old timeline, I release the reality that I'm in now. And then you can allow that to cleanse yourself, and then you can start stepping into your new timeline that you belong. You have to make sure that you have 3 really key things. You have to have the intention, you have to set that intention, that mantra. When I do yoga, I'm always setting an intention, a mantra, and it's beautiful because I know that that sets me up for the rest of my day. So that's also another energetic way, you know, using those methods, like I said. But if it's water, you know, you do the same thing. You focus on that intention, you focus on that mantra, you affirm it, you have that visualization, you feel the energy of it, you feel of what goodness is it going to bring you, like how it makes you feel, how it makes you how it gives you, you know, a good feeling to your heart, peace, love, joy. And then you enter that portal. And this is why, you know, nature and natural acts are the best way to jump. You know, you can participate in shifting realities with water, whether it's in the body of water, like the pool or the ocean, like I said, or you can just work with a glass of water. And I do that. I meditate a lot, and then I have a glass of water, and then I call in my affirmations and my intentions. And I do that on a regular basis, but also with the new moon. But it's really important to really be aware of your mind on a regular basis, on how you're thinking and feeling. Look, I'm going to tell you guys, we have moments, we have crappy days, we have days where we need to cry. Like, cry. Don't hold in those emotions.